Ladies and gentlemen, every journey in life comes with trials. But what many fail to understand is that these trials are not meant to break us, but to test us. These are universal test challenges designed to shape, mold, and prepare us for our true destiny. Today, I want to share with you 5 signs that you have passed the universal test. The first sign that you've passed the test is the presence of inner peace. Inner peace amidst adversity is one of the most profound indicators of spiritual maturity and growth. It is a rare quality, often misunderstood by the world, which teaches us that peace is something to be found when everything around us is calm and orderly. But real peace, true inner peace, is not tied to circumstances. It is not dependent on external factors or the absence of difficulty. Instead, it is a deep, abiding sense of calm and assurance that persists even when life's storms rage around us. This kind of peace is a spiritual achievement, a sign that you have passed through the trials and tests that life brings and emerge stronger, wiser, and more grounded. The storms of life are inevitable. Whether it's financial struggles, relational conflicts, health challenges, or unexpected losses, adversity is something every one of us will face at some point in our lives. It is in these moments of hardship that our true character is revealed. Many people, when confronted with difficult situations, are overcome with anxiety, fear, or anger. They may feel as though their world is falling apart, and they struggle to maintain any sense of control. But for those who have developed inner peace, there is a different response. Rather than being swept away by the storm, they remain anchored. There is a calmness about them, a sense of groundedness that defies the chaos of their external reality. This inner peace comes from a deep understanding of where true security lies. It comes from knowing that our sense of worth, purpose, and identity is not tied to the circumstances of this world. It is rooted in something much deeper, our relationship with the divine, with God. When we come to understand that we are not defined by what happens to us, but by who we are in the eyes of God, we begin to cultivate a peace that transcends our external situation. This peace is built on faith, trust, and an unwavering belief that everything happens for a reason, that even in the darkest moments, there is purpose and meaning in our trials. A person who has inner peace does not deny the reality of the storm. They acknowledge the challenges they face, but they do not allow those challenges to dictate their emotional or mental state. This is because they have learned to separate their inner world from their outer world. They have come to understand that while they may not have control over what happens around them, they do have control over how they respond. This ability to maintain control over one's internal state is the key to inner peace. It is the realization that peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the presence of God within us, guiding us through every trial. Developing this kind of peace takes time. It is not something that happens overnight. It is the result of a journey, a process of spiritual growth that often involves many trials and tests. Each time we are faced with adversity, we are given the opportunity to choose how we will respond. Will we allow fear, doubt, and anxiety to take over, or will we choose to trust in the greater plan that is unfolding in our lives? Will we hold on to our faith even when things don't make sense? The more we choose faith over fear, the more we cultivate that inner peace. People who have inner peace are not immune to the pain and struggles of life. They feel deeply just like everyone else. They experience loss, grief, disappointment, and uncertainty. But the difference is that they are not overwhelmed by these emotions. Instead, they process them in a healthy way and return to their place of peace. They know that the storm will pass, that the sun will shine again, and that in the meantime, they can weather the storm with grace and dignity. Their peace is not shaken by temporary circumstances because they know that their peace comes from a higher source. This peace also impacts how they interact with others. A person with inner peace is a calming presence to those around them. They bring a sense of stability and reassurance to their relationships. When others are in panic or despair, they can offer comfort and support, not by offering solutions to every problem, but by simply being present, grounded, and at peace. Their calmness in the face of adversity inspires others to also seek that inner peace. The strength of someone who has inner peace is not loud or forceful. It is quiet, yet powerful. It is the kind of strength that doesn't need to prove itself because it is confident in its foundation. It is the kind of strength that allows a person to endure even the most difficult of trials without losing themselves in the process. This peace acts as a shield, protecting the heart and mind from the destructive forces of fear, anxiety, and despair. Inner peace amidst adversity is one of the clearest signs that a person has passed the universal test of life's challenges. It signifies a maturity of spirit, a deep trust in the divine, and a profound understanding that we are not defined by our circumstances. It is a peace that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace, knowing that no matter what happens, we are anchored in something greater than ourselves. The second sign is clarity. Clarity of purpose is a profound sign that you have passed the universal test. In a world full of distractions, noise, and constant demands, discovering and maintaining clarity of purpose is a rare and powerful achievement. It's an internal compass that directs every aspect of your life, enabling you to move forward with confidence, assurance, and intentionality. When you reach the point where you no longer question your path or the reason for your existence, you have reached a level of spiritual maturity that few attain. Clarity of purpose means you no longer wander aimlessly, unsure of who you are or what you are meant to do. It is the moment when the fog of confusion lifts and everything becomes clear. You understand your role, your calling, and the unique contribution you are meant to make in the world. When this kind of clarity emerges, it signals that you have gone through the necessary trials and tests that have shaped you into someone capable of fulfilling your divine assignment. It's not something you discover by accident. It's the fruit of a journey that often involves struggle, reflection, and moments of profound introspection. This clarity of purpose is not just about knowing what you are meant to do. It's also about knowing why you are here and how every experience, good or bad, has led you to this moment. Every trial, every obstacle, every victory has worked together to bring you into alignment with your purpose. When you've passed the test, you begin to see how everything fits into the bigger picture. You stop questioning why certain things happen to you and start understanding how they have shaped your destiny. This shift in perspective is a powerful indicator of spiritual growth. With clarity of purpose comes a newfound sense of direction. You no longer waste time pursuing things that are not aligned with your mission. You become laser focused, knowing that your time on this earth is limited and that you have a specific role to play. Distractions that once pulled you away from your true calling no longer hold any power over you. You don't get caught up in what others think you should do or who they think you should be. Instead, you are rooted in the knowledge of who you are and what you were created to accomplish. When you have clarity of purpose, your decisions become more intentional. You no longer make choices out of fear or uncertainty. Instead, every decision is guided by your deep understanding of your mission. You understand that your purpose is not just about your personal success or happiness. It's about serving a greater cause, impacting the lives of others, and fulfilling the plan that God has for you. This clarity gives you the confidence to step out in faith, knowing that every step you take is leading you closer to fulfilling your destiny. Another key aspect of clarity of purpose is the way it aligns your gifts and talents with the needs of the world. You begin to realize that the things you are naturally good at, the passions that drive you, and the skills you've developed are not random. They are intentional and divinely placed within you for a reason. When you pass the universal test, you come to understand that your gifts are not just for your benefit. They are meant to be used in service to others, to contribute to the greater good, and to bring glory to God. When you operate in clarity of purpose, the effort you put into your work no longer feels burdensome. You are energized by what you do because you know it aligns with your calling. You wake up each day with a sense of excitement and determination because you are living in alignment with the reason for your existence. This sense of purpose drives you even when challenges arise because you are confident that what you are doing matters. It matters not just to you, but to the people you are called to serve and to the world at large. One of the most powerful aspects of clarity of purpose is the way it attracts divine provision. When you are aligned with your purpose, the resources, connections, and opportunities you need begin to flow into your life in a seemingly effortless way. This is because when you are on the path that God has designed for you, heaven backs you up. Doors open, favor surrounds you, and you begin to experience a supernatural alignment between your efforts and the outcomes you desire. It doesn't mean that the road will always be easy, but it does mean that you will have everything you need to fulfill your mission. Clarity of purpose also brings a deep sense of fulfillment. When you are living in alignment with your purpose, you experience a level of satisfaction that goes beyond material success or external recognition. You know that you are living out the reason for which you were created, and that brings a sense of peace and joy that nothing else can provide. It's a feeling of knowing that you are right where you are supposed to be, doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing. Clarity of purpose is the sign that you have passed the test of wandering, searching, and questioning. You've moved beyond confusion and doubt, and you now stand firm in the knowledge of your divine assignment. It is the manifestation of years of growth, learning, and spiritual refinement, and it positions you to fulfill your calling with confidence, conviction, and unwavering focus. The third sign is resilience. Resilience in faith is a powerful sign that you have passed the universal test. Life is full of moments that challenge your beliefs, shake your foundation, and test the depth of your trust in God. But resilience, the ability to stand firm in your faith despite the storms of life, is what sets apart those who have been refined by the trials from those who are still learning the lessons of endurance. Faith at its core is not something that is proven in times of ease or comfort. It is not demonstrated when everything is going well, when the skies are clear and all is in order. True faith is forged in the fire of adversity. It is in the moments when life seems most uncertain, when your prayers seem unanswered, and when the promises you hold on to feel distant, that your faith is tested and proven. Resilience in faith means that no matter what circumstances arise, no matter how difficult or uncertain the road becomes, you continue to trust in God's plan and timing. One of the clearest signs that you have passed the test is the ability to hold on to your faith, even when it feels like everything around you is falling apart. There are times in life when you will face situations that seem insurmountable, when the weight of your challenges feels too heavy to bear. In these moments, it can be tempting to give in to doubt, fear, and frustration. Many people do. They question whether God is really with them, whether He hears their prayers, or whether they are truly on the right path. But those who have developed resilience in faith understand that these moments of trial are opportunities for growth. They know that faith is not about having all the answers, it's about trusting in the one who does. Resilience in faith is about perseverance. It's the decision to keep moving forward even when you cannot see the full picture. It's about refusing to quit even when the outcome is unclear. The very essence of faith is trusting in what you cannot see, and this trust becomes stronger each time you choose faith over fear, hope over despair. Those who are resilient in faith are not naive. They are fully aware of the challenges they face. But they choose to focus on the promises of God rather than the problems at hand. They cling to their faith as an anchor in the storm, knowing that no matter how fierce the winds may blow, their foundation is secure. When you pass the universal test of resilience in faith, you reach a place where your faith is no longer shaken by temporary circumstances. You may experience disappointment, setbacks, or delays, but you are not deterred. You understand that God's timing is perfect. Even when it doesn't align with your own, you have learned to trust in the process, to believe that everything is working together for your good, even when it doesn't look like it. This level of trust doesn't come easily. It is developed through experience, through enduring seasons of waiting, and through navigating the valleys of life with a steadfast heart. A person who has developed resilience in faith becomes a beacon of hope for others. Their strength is not only for themselves, but serves as a source of inspiration for those who are struggling. People who are going through their own trials look to them and see what it means to stand firm in the face of adversity. They are the ones who can testify that faith works, that God is faithful, and that no matter how dark the night, the dawn always comes. Another aspect of resilience in faith is the ability to continue believing in the promises of God, even when they seem delayed. There is a process of waiting that comes with faith. Sometimes the things we hope for do not come to pass immediately. There may be seasons of silence, times when it feels like your prayers are not being answered, but resilience in faith means that you do not give up hope. You continue to believe that what God has spoken over your life will come to pass in due time. You understand that delays are not denials, and you remain steadfast in your belief that God's promises are sure. This kind of resilience also transforms how you handle future challenges. Once you have endured and passed the test, your faith becomes even stronger. You no longer fear the trials ahead because you have already seen what God can do. You've walked through the fire and come out refined. You understand that the same God who brought you through past challenges will be faithful to do so again. This is why resilience in faith is not just about surviving one test. It's about cultivating a mindset of trust that carries you through every test you will face. Resilience in faith is about surrender. It's about letting go of the need to control every aspect of your life and learning to trust that God is in control. It's recognizing that despite your best efforts, some things are beyond your ability to change or fix. In those moments, resilience in faith means releasing the outcome into God's hands, knowing that His plan is greater than anything you could ever imagine. It's about resting in the assurance that He knows the beginning from the end and that everything is working according to His divine purpose. Finally, resilience in faith is about joy. It's about finding joy even in the midst of trials, because you know that these challenges are producing something valuable in you. They are refining your character, strengthening your resolve, and deepening your relationship with God. You begin to see your trials not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth. This joy comes from the knowledge that you are being prepared for something greater, that the tests you endure today are shaping you for the future God has for you. When you have resilience in faith, you have passed the universal test. You have developed the ability to trust God no matter what comes your way, and that trust becomes the foundation upon which you build your life. The fourth sign is divine alignment. Divine alignment is a profound sign that you have passed the universal test, one that transcends personal effort and flows from the synchronization of your life with a higher purpose. When divine alignment occurs, you experience a supernatural flow in your life where everything seems to fall into place, often with minimal effort. This is not to suggest that there are no challenges or obstacles, but rather that doors begin to open in ways that seem almost miraculous. Opportunities come, connections form, and paths are made straight, all because you are moving in harmony with your divine purpose. When you reach this point of alignment, it's as if you are being guided by an invisible hand, effortlessly navigating through life's twists and turns. This does not mean that you are exempt from hard work or preparation, but the struggle to make things happen diminishes. The things that once felt like uphill battles are no longer met with resistance. You begin to see that when you are in alignment with God's will, the resources, people, and opportunities you need will find their way to you. Divine alignment is not about luck or chance. It is about being in the right place at the right time with the right mindset. It's when your inner purpose matches the outer circumstances that life presents. This alignment happens because you've passed through the necessary test trials that refined your character, shaped your faith, and clarified your purpose. When you emerge from these trials, ready to walk in your calling, heaven responds by aligning everything around you to support that calling. The alignment starts internally. You begin to feel a deep sense of peace and assurance that you are exactly where you need to be. This inner knowing is a powerful guide telling you when to move forward, when to pause, and when to let go. You no longer have to force things into place because you trust the timing and the process that God has laid out for you. This trust frees you from the anxiety of trying to control every aspect of your life, allowing you to focus on your purpose rather than the obstacles in your path. As divine alignment unfolds, you will notice that people come into your life at the right moment, individuals who are positioned to help you along your journey. These relationships are not coincidental. They are divinely orchestrated. Whether it's a mentor, a business partner, or a supportive friend, these connections often seem to arrive just when you need them the most. And just as these individuals bless your life, you are positioned to bless theirs as well. Alignment is not just about receiving, it is also about giving. It's about being in the right relationships where mutual growth and purpose are nurtured. The same can be said about opportunities. When you are in divine alignment, doors open that you could have never forced open on your own. These are doors that lead to places you were destined to go but could not access through your own effort. This doesn't mean you didn't prepare or put in work. It means that when the time was right, those efforts bore fruit in ways that exceeded your expectations. You may find yourself standing in rooms you never thought you'd enter, being invited to platforms you never imagined, all because you are aligned with the divine plan for your life. One of the most powerful aspects of divine alignment is how it enables you to work from a place of rest. When you are aligned, you don't have to strive or exhaust yourself trying to make things happen. There is a flow that accompanies alignment, where your energy is no longer wasted on pursuits that aren't meant for you. Instead, you focus on the things that matter, the things that move you closer to your purpose. You become more efficient, more productive, and more fulfilled because you are working within the scope of your divine assignment. Divine alignment also brings clarity. When you are aligned with your purpose, you can easily discern what opportunities are meant for you and which ones are distractions. This clarity allows you to say no to things that would pull you off course, even if they seem attractive on the surface. You are no longer tempted by things that are not in alignment with your destiny because you understand that what God has for you is far greater than anything you could gain by stepping outside of His plan. Another key feature of divine alignment is that it often manifests in perfect timing. You may have spent years working toward a goal or vision with little progress, but when divine alignment occurs, what seemed to take years can happen in a matter of months or even days. This is because in alignment, you are no longer working against the current, you are flowing with it. Timing is everything in God's plan, and when your preparation meets divine timing, the results are both extraordinary and undeniable. While in divine alignment, there is also a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction that goes beyond material success. It's the knowledge that you are walking in your purpose, that your life is making a meaningful impact. You feel a deep connection to the work you are doing because it aligns with your deepest values and passions. It's not just about achieving goals or hitting milestones. It's about living in a way that feels authentic and aligned with your soul's mission. This fulfillment is not only personal, but extends to the people and communities you touch. When you are aligned, your influence expands. You are able to make a difference, not just in your own life, but in the lives of others. You become a vessel through which divine purpose flows, and those around you are blessed by your obedience to your calling. Your alignment empowers others to seek their own purpose, creating a ripple effect that spreads beyond what you can see. Divine alignment is the ultimate confirmation that you have passed the test. It is the culmination of years of preparation, faith, and perseverance. When you reach this stage, you are no longer striving, you are simply walking in the flow of your divine assignment, and the universe responds by aligning itself in your favor. And finally, the fifth sign is fruitfulness. Heightened discernment is another powerful sign that you have passed the universal test. This is the ability to perceive, understand, and make decisions that align with divine wisdom, allowing you to see beyond the surface and grasp the deeper spiritual realities at play. Discernment is a gift that grows with maturity, particularly spiritual maturity, and it becomes sharper the more you walk in your purpose and submit to God's guidance. When you have heightened discernment, you are able to navigate life with a clarity and insight that transcends human logic and reason. Discernment is not just about knowing what is right and wrong, it's about understanding the nuances of life's complexities. It is the ability to sense what is unseen, to recognize what others may overlook, and to perceive the true motives, intentions, and spiritual dynamics behind situations, people, and opportunities. When you have passed the universal test, your discernment becomes a finely tuned instrument, allowing you to make wise choices, avoid pitfalls, and recognize divine direction even when it comes in subtle or unexpected ways. One of the ways discernment manifests is in your relationships. As you grow in discernment, you become more selective about the people you allow into your inner circle. You begin to sense who is meant to walk with you in your journey and who may be a distraction or hindrance to your progress. This is not about judging others, rather it's about understanding who aligns with your purpose and who does not. You become attuned to the spiritual energy of the people around you, discerning who carries a positive influence and who might drain your energy or derail your focus. This heightened awareness helps you cultivate relationships that are mutually beneficial, supportive, and purpose-driven. Discernment also plays a crucial role in recognizing divine opportunities. Not every open door is meant to be walked through, and not every opportunity that comes your way is part of God's plan for your life. When you have passed the test and developed heightened discernment, you are able to distinguish between the distractions that come to pull you off course and the opportunities that are aligned with your divine purpose. This level of discernment saves you time, energy, and frustration, allowing you to focus only on what truly matters and what leads you closer to your destiny. Another aspect of heightened discernment is the ability to sense spiritual warfare. Life's challenges are not always just natural obstacles. Sometimes they are spiritual battles that require spiritual strategies. When you have sharpened discernment, you can recognize when you are facing opposition that goes beyond the physical realm. You are able to see the spiritual forces at work, whether they be forces of darkness trying to block your progress or divine forces guiding you toward a breakthrough. This awareness allows you to respond appropriately, whether that means stepping into prayer, seeking divine wisdom, or waiting patiently for God to intervene. Heightened discernment also enhances your decision-making process. You are no longer swayed by emotions, external pressures, or the opinions of others. Instead, you are led by a deep inner knowing, a sense of divine direction that helps you make choices that are aligned with your purpose. This type of decision-making is grounded in peace and confidence because you know that you are being guided by a higher wisdom. Even when the path ahead seems unclear or risky, discernment gives you the assurance that you are making the right move because you are in tune with God's will. As your discernment grows, you also become more sensitive to the timing of events in your life. You begin to recognize when it's time to move forward, when to pause, and when to wait. This sensitivity to divine timing is crucial because sometimes the right decision at the wrong time can lead to unnecessary setbacks. Discernment allows you to trust in the process, knowing that God's timing is always perfect. You become comfortable with waiting when necessary, understanding that certain things must fall into place before you can move forward. In addition to guiding your decisions, heightened discernment helps you avoid deception. Whether it comes in the form of misleading opportunities, manipulative people, or distractions disguised as blessings, deception is something we all face at various points in life. However, when your discernment is strong, you can see through the illusions. You are able to recognize when something is too good to be true, or when someone's intentions are not aligned with what they claim. This ability to detect deception protects you from making costly mistakes and ensures that you stay on the right path. Another critical aspect of discernment is the way it sharpens your spiritual awareness. You become more sensitive to the leading of the Holy Spirit, more attuned to the whispers of divine guidance that may not always come in loud or obvious ways. Whether through a feeling of unease, a sense of peace, or a quiet prompting in your spirit, discernment allows you to recognize when God is speaking to you and guiding your steps. This spiritual sensitivity becomes a guiding light in your life, helping you make choices that align with divine purpose. Moreover, discernment helps you steward your resources wisely. Whether it's your time, energy, or finances, discernment helps you allocate these resources in ways that are fruitful and aligned with your mission. You no longer waste time on things that don't matter, nor do you invest your energy in pursuits that are not part of your purpose. This stewardship ensures that you are operating efficiently and effectively, maximizing your potential and impact. In many ways, heightened discernment is a reflection of maturity and spiritual growth. It shows that you have learned to trust in God's guidance over your own understanding and that you are willing to follow divine direction, even when it doesn't make sense in the natural. This level of trust and obedience is a clear sign that you have passed the universal test and that you are walking in alignment with your purpose. Discernment is one of the greatest tools you can have as you navigate the complexities of life. It helps you make wise decisions, avoid unnecessary pitfalls, and recognize divine opportunities that lead to growth and fulfillment. When you have heightened discernment, you are not easily swayed or deceived. Instead, you walk with confidence, clarity, and a deep sense of divine guidance, knowing that you are on the right path. In conclusion, passing the universal test is not a singular event, but rather a culmination of experiences, growth, and alignment with the divine. Each sign we've discussed serves as a marker of spiritual maturity, evidence of the refining process that transforms a person from merely existing to truly living in their purpose. These signs are not just for personal recognition, they are manifestations of a life that has been shaped, molded, and elevated through faith, perseverance, and a deep connection with God's will. First, the ability to find inner peace amidst adversity speaks volumes about the strength of your spirit. This peace is not a fleeting sense of calm, but a profound stillness that remains steady even in the fiercest storms. When you reach this place of peace, you demonstrate that you have learned to trust God completely no matter what circumstances arise. It shows that you understand that life's challenges are not meant to break you, but to strengthen you. And that through every trial, God is working something greater for your life. This peace reflects a soul that has passed the test and emerged resilient, anchored in a faith that cannot be shaken. Resilience in faith is another clear indicator that you've passed the universal test. It is the hallmark of spiritual endurance. Life will always present challenges, but when you've built resilience, you stand firm in the face of uncertainty, trusting that God's plan is unfolding perfectly, even when you can't see the full picture. This resilience means you've learned not to rely solely on what you see or feel, but to stand on God's promises. Your faith becomes unshakable, and you move through life with the quiet confidence that God is with you and that no obstacle is too great for Him to overcome. Divine alignment is perhaps one of the most rewarding signs. When your life begins to align with your purpose, things start to fall into place naturally. It's not about striving, but about allowing yourself to flow with the rhythm of God's will. Divine alignment shows that you have come into agreement with what heaven has spoken over your life, and as a result, the right doors open, the right people come into your life, and the right opportunities present themselves. It's a beautiful sign that you are walking in your calling, fulfilling your destiny with grace and ease. Heightened discernment, the final sign we explored, is both a gift and a tool that equips you to navigate life with wisdom and insight. It's not just about avoiding the pitfalls of life, but about recognizing divine opportunities and understanding the deeper spiritual realities behind everyday situations. Discernment allows you to see things from a higher perspective, guiding your decisions and helping you align your actions with God's will. When you have heightened discernment, you are no longer easily swayed by external pressures or distractions. Instead, you move with clarity, purpose, and confidence, knowing that you are following the path laid out for you by God. These signs together form a powerful testimony of a life that has passed the universal test. They reveal a soul that has been shaped through the trials, refined in the fire of adversity, and transformed by divine purpose. The journey is not always easy, but it is through these tests that you grow, evolve, and become the person you were created to be. Each test is an opportunity for growth, and passing them brings you closer to fulfilling your divine calling. Ultimately, the purpose of these tests is not just for personal victory, but for a higher purpose. When you pass the universal test, your life becomes a beacon of light for others. You become a living example of what it means to walk in faith, to trust God through the process, and to live in alignment with His will. Your peace, your resilience, your alignment, and your discernment are not just for you, they are testimonies that inspire others to pursue their own divine journey. So as you reflect on these signs, know that they are not the end, but the beginning of something greater. They mark the start of a new chapter, one in which you walk in the fullness of your purpose, guided by divine wisdom and empowered by God's grace. The tests may continue to come, but with these signs, you have the assurance that you are equipped, prepared, and aligned to face them with faith and confidence, knowing that each one brings you closer to the fullness of God's plan for your life.